All right, hey, this is Jared, the janitor. Today we're at a friend of mine's house and we're doing some house cleaning, and so I'm going to kind of go through and give you an idea of when our teams of cleaners come in and clean homes and kind of the basic thought process behind it. This is a unique situation. They have a home business where they do hair and stuff like that, and so within here we're trying to make sure that we just hit the areas that meet the need of the client. So we'll be doing sweeping and mopping and then taking care of the bathrooms. In here they'll generally go through top to bottom, and as we bring all the debris, then we'll pull the trash, sweep everything out, roll up, vacuum, and then mop, and then we'll go through and sanitize top to bottom as well. Use like an acid, mild acid that's not gonna eat up stainless steel, and then like pumice type acid for your porcelain, and toilet as needed, so let it sit. We'll go through and wipe, lift up top to bottom, and then get all around the edges, right? And then as you look through, there's no baseboards in this situation except in the corner. This is where that dust and then damp wipe. And then anywhere you're gonna see splashing build up, we'll go through, and you have to think of all like the high touch areas that you're experiencing in your own home. That's what we're gonna make sure that we're gonna hit, like the light switches, the door handles, and then just kind of go through not only like dust, but then damp wipe doors inside and out, right? And then that'll pretty much be for each kitchen, bathroom experience, or any kind of open, hard surface environment. We will fluff your pillow and put it in order. When we do an initial deep clean, right, we're gonna go through, we're gonna lift up and take off all the cushions, and we will vacuum everything out. Same thing, take it and then drop it all down to the floor, top to bottom, from the dust. And the most efficient way is just going to be going from one end of the room and then just kind of work our way around. And then when it's the blinds, this is during a deeper clean when we do an initial clean. Then we'll go into like a maintenance mode of once a month, once a week, twice a month, something like that. And then we'll break down those duties as we see, since it is a big duty, like on Wreck-It Ralph, we will make sure that we break it down so that it's not overwhelming when they come and clean and maintain the home, right? So to meet within the budget that we discover together, we have to do an initial deep clean and then break up the duties throughout the month, like the dusting, and then getting through different stuff, right? Other than that, you're not gonna do, this kind of stuff where the dust is gonna settle, other than maybe like every couple weeks, unless, the ventilation's not good or something. That is just gonna add up over a month or whatever. It depends on what's going on in the environment. If there's construction going on outside, we're gonna have dust like build up super fast. So it may be that we have to dust every surface, almost every visit, but generally you can maintain it properly like every other, if it's every 2 weeks, right? Here on these shutters, this would be a dust and then a damp wipe. Then we'd open them and everything. Other than that, the only other random things that you'd have to kind of think through is just getting photos, and then the same switches and doors. And then as you look at the carpet, the idea that we're gonna end up with is we're gonna vacuum from one end to another, where we can have a nice fine line, and then we'll go back and you'll overlap the lines. And so you'll see that as we go upstairs, what the girls are doing, and guys are doing, and then that's it. Okay, so I don't know, what is this called, a loft? Different situation. If you look at the floors, we're gonna go through, make sure that we do like an angle broom and sweep everything out, but then we'll vacuum everything out. Go through the surfaces, wipe everything. If given permission, we'll go through and wipe and clean off. Other than that, same thing. Lift cushions during the deep clean, and then pick up and move all the different knickknacks, and then put them back. And the same you can see in the bathroom, when they're pulling it and tearing it apart and getting ready, they're gonna wanna do is just start lifting everything up so that they can start sweeping it out. Over in here, you can see what they're doing. Hello. We're doing a video of the cleaning, but we're just showing them what you're using, going through and getting rid of all the hard water. You want to see? So she did all the hard water with kind of like Comet, but on here it's probably like a gentle acid cleaner, and then we have to make sure that we wipe it off, and then we're going to break it down, and then we'll do a final rinse so it doesn't leave any streaks or anything like that, because there's going to be film that had built up, and we're removing all the hard water, and then we're going to make sure that we'll probably do like a Windex and a clean rag, and then remove everything. You can see everything's going to be wrapped up. It's going to look like a mess during the process, but then it's like eventually just kind of pulling it out and pushing out the dirt and debris over time. So after they move everything, they're going to go through and get all the corners and edges, and then we'll go through and mop, just making sure there's no debris. You can see on the glass, over time there might be somebody taking care of themselves, so little Windex, make sure everything's secure, and then wipe it off. Okay, so after my friend walked us through his property, he told us that some of the things he did and did not want to do. So if there was no dishes in the sink, then obviously we're not doing it. But if it was asked and part of it, we'll go through, wash the dishes, but then they're gonna go and wipe the surfaces. If it's granite, we may have to use like a granite cleaner, other than a nice like gentle soap neutral cleaner, so that you're not opening up any of the pores. Some people will ask that we go in and outside of like the fridge or the ovens and stuff, but if things aren't beat up or whatnot, it's just a preference. But generally, when I have them come through my house and a bunch of other houses, we'll go through, we'll take off the griddle and eventually lift off and damp wipe everything. So we're going to take off each piece, and then you're going to have to clean each piece, wipe out, and then remove all the debris. And then we'll leave it to dry and then put it back before we leave. And if we can remove it and clean it without having to apply stainless steel polish, it's best, so that you're not just manipulating a chemical on there, because eventually it gets kind of goopy if it's not applied properly. And then you have to be very careful on this thin plastic, because eventually if you wipe it too aggressively, it just starts to rip the plastic. I've seen it at my own house.